All right, good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining this quick bite, Value That Resonates, Printing with Keystone and 3D Resins. My name is Madeline Holzer. I'm the event specialist for education for Zahn. I'd like to welcome you today and encourage you to please use the chat functions or questions tab at the bottom of the screen. At the end of our session, we will have time to address some questions of yours live. We'd like to welcome today Doug Statham, Senior Director of Sales, Digital Materials at Keystone. He's going to be discussing the 3D resins with us in this quick bite. Thank you, Doug.
Thank you. First of all, thank you all for having me today and joining us for this call. The topic today is the 3D resins that Keystone carries. And I'm going to primarily focus on our intraoral patient compatible materials to start today. So just a little bit about myself. I've actually been in the dental space now for 21 plus years. In 19 of those years, I've actually been affiliated with the CAD/CAM industry. I started with Procera and Noble Biocare back in 1999 when they launched the Noble Guide system, as well as the original Procera crowns and custom abutments. I also worked with Whitmix Corporation and with the product called Varicor, which was a bar design system for implants, as well as a 3D design, 3D systems, 3Shape design software. And then I worked with Henry Schein and Zahn for a couple of years as their national sales manager, then went on to work with a couple of OEM 3D printers, which both EnvisionTech and Structo are both affiliated with the dental industry. So I've been around in the 3D printing industry now for about 7 or 8 years, which is really when it took hold here in the dental field. A little bit about Keystone Dental. Keystone Industries is actually located in New Jersey, and we actually are one of the largest suppliers of acrylics that are in polymers that are used in the nail business. So our primary products are acrylic nails, and we sell those worldwide. But about 5-6 years ago, we got involved with 3D printing and saw an opportunity with the dental field to bring on some resins for 3D printing. We actually also have a dental division here at Keystone Industries, which includes over 4,000 SKUs for all different types of laboratory and operatory products. All of our products are manufactured in New Jersey and are distributed out of manufactured in Pennsylvania and distributed out of our New Jersey offices, and they're all FDA approved and ISO certified. So all of our fulfillment will come out of the US. So I'm just going to briefly go through when we started all of this. We first introduced our KeyPrint products to the market in 2018 after about 2 to 3 years of R&D behind that. We specifically designed resins that are for the dental industry and only the dental industry. Some of our users now are branching out into other printing opportunities with our materials, but they are specifically designed for dental. They are designed and manufactured here in the US and are offered throughout the US and the rest of the world. One of the things that we really take pride on, and I am going to touch on this a little bit today, is the importance of proper validation. We go through a thorough process for validation to ensure both the reliability of the product and also make it available for open source use. What that means is that regardless of which printer that you're using, this product would be available to use those, but we do strongly encourage you to have or use a printer that has been validated with our materials. I just had a call earlier today with a company out of Great Britain that is doing a validation with us just in order to make sure that the product meets the specifications required for both ISO certification and FDA approvals. So this is particularly important when it comes to products that are going to be used in the patient's mouth for long-term use. So prioritizing patient safety is one of our chief concerns. The biocompatibility test and global regulation requirements have all been met. So we probably are one of the more tested products that are out there, especially for the intraoral use products. So as far as the validation is concerned and why this is important, so Keystone is profiling 3D printers on an ongoing basis. So we probably have about 25 printers on board right now, and it's most likely the printer that you have if it's an open architecture printer, it does allow you to use our materials in there. It ensures that the resins that we provide work properly and repeatably on those printers. So whether you're using a Carbon or whether you're using an Asiga or a Sprint Ray or whichever printer you're using, it's more than likely that we have the printer in our facility in New Jersey and we've gone through the steps of validation. Again, we've got more than now 25 printers that are in that room that we're testing. Each printer is unique, so it needs to be optimized for the different materials that we're providing for both intraoral use and just general lab use. So labs are a little bit different than the doctor's offices, and it's important that labs understand that there is quality systems in place for these materials, and it's important that when you're using a resin that's going to end up in a patient's mouth, like a night guard or a surgical guide, that it has been properly tested and validated, and there's a number of steps to that. One is obviously the material, and we go through the material testing and what we call toxicity testing, where they actually make sure that it's safe in the patient's mouth. The second part is making sure that the material itself is printed properly and cured properly on the printer. So normally when you're printing, it's about 97% cured as it comes off to the machine. And then the last part would be the post-curing. So we actually take pride in and spend a lot of time, energy, and money on making sure that those products that are coming off most of the printers that are out there are printing properly. So labs are required to have those safety checks in place. Doctors are a little bit different. They actually don't require those quality systems checks in their offices. They rely on their liability insurance to cover this. So it's a little bit more of the Wild West there. But again, more and more of our printers are becoming validated. Even the lower cost ones now are coming to us and making sure that those products are used properly on those printers. So it's extremely important for patient use when you're looking at producing a product that's going to go into a patient's mouth. So we've actually established on our website, and these are just the website if you want to jot that down. It actually is a website you can go on and look at all the different printers that we've been validated to use with it. I strongly recommend if you're shopping for a printer that you look on here. If you're looking for an open architecture printer, it's a valuable tool to give you some guidelines as to what you're looking for when it comes to a printer. Not all of them are, as they say, quote unquote, open printers, but you can clearly see here on this website which ones do offer the most opportunity to print different resins. Here's just an example of all the different materials that we provide and then the different printers that we are working with. Each one of these printers usually has multiple models too, so we're also testing all those different models. So if again you are looking to purchase a printer coming up, I would strongly recommend, whether you use this tool on our website or when you're talking with the potential builder of the 3D printer, make sure that it's an open architecture printer that allows you to print multiple materials, and that's not just Keystone materials, but there's 3 or 4 other companies out there that can provide materials. The more versatility you'll have here, the more you'll use the 3D printer and the better it'll fit in your business. The other part of this is the post-curing unit, and similar to the last one, we actually go through a validation process of all the post-curing, and on this website you'll see all the different units that we have tested. Some of them come from the OEM printers, but also some of them are independent models that you can buy from third parties. Here are just an example of some of the ones that are out there that we have tested. Again, these are live documents, so they're changing all the time. So as you're shopping for these different products, it's a great tool for you to use just to make sure you're getting something that's been tested and proven that it does properly cure the materials. Just a little market data here as well. One of the key components to 3D printing right now is the intraoral scanners, and we've seen this especially in the orthodontic market over the last 3 to 4 years. Orthodontists have really embraced the intraoral scanning market, and probably more than 60% of those doctors now are using intraoral scanners. As you can see here, it is starting to take hold in the crown and bridge business as well, in the general dentist office. Normally about 20% of the dental labs that are currently accepting digital impression files, it's about 20% now, and their client dentists send digital impressions on average. Between 10 and 20% of the cases, about 32% of the doctors are sending about that much. and you can see how it branches or goes down from there. The one thing I will stress here, these numbers are changing daily now. We're seeing a huge increase in the number of intraoral scanners that the doctors are using in sending those cases over to the laboratory. And you can see here, this percentage is also growing dramatically now. So traditional impressions are still the #1 way that you guys are getting the patient information, but those digital files that are being transported now are growing dramatically. And you can see some of the different tools that the doctors are using out there. I will say this has a direct reflection on the use of it on a 3D printer, as well as a dental mill as well. The more people get these intraoral scanners, the more cases will be done digitally. The workflow for you guys will be simplified dramatically as the dentists continue to expand the use of intraoral scanning. As far as what's being printed right now, the majority of it is still models, and you can see here, although there is still a tremendous amount of growth opportunity, 66% of the models being done as of, this is 2019, were done the traditional method, whereas only 34% were done digitally. This is going to have a direct, the intraoral scanner will continue to have a direct impact on this. As more and more doctors are sending these files digitally, then the more the models will be printed. So you'll see this grow dramatically. Believe it or not, wax ups have grown to 42% of them are being printed now digitally as opposed to traditional methods. Night guards, 33%. This is definitely a growing market right here. Probably one of the fastest growing markets is the night guard business. Still 67% of them are done traditionally. Surgical guides is another big growth area. Actually, more surgical guides are being done digitally now than the traditional methods. And there's a number of reasons for that, which I'll share in a moment. And then orthodontic aligners, believe it or not, 68% of them were still done traditionally as opposed to 32% done through digital. This number is going to change dramatically as more and more people are getting into that space of doing clear aligners. So where does Keystone fit into all this? 90% of the resins that are being sold right now are actually sold by, and this number has gone down a little bit since this time, but 90% of them were sold by the OEM printers. Keystone does have the lion's share of the business when it comes to third-party resins in providing those. And this 90% number is skewed a little bit only because we sell a lot of materials to the OEM providers. So a lot of this 90% would be, whether it be our model material, our soft split material, and so on and so forth. So we do provide, again, 25 different printers, their resins, or at least some of our resins. So a lot of that number does come out of Keystone, and it's grown significantly, more than doubled in 2020. And we were off to a tremendous start here in 2021 as well. So what we're going to focus on today is more on the medical device side of the biocompatible resins for patient use. Number one, it's important. These products a lot of times are, you buy a bottle of this and it lasts a lot longer. So it's important to understand what the life expectancy of this product or the shelf life of this product is. Our products are all 3 years shelf lives for these. So if you're using, for instance, the surgical guide material, you're not printing those things all day, every day. So this material may sit on the shelf longer than say a model material. So it's important to have a longer lifespan for that shelf use. The resins are open source and designed to be to use on DLP printers with a wavelength of between 385 and 405 nanometers on the projector. This covers most all of the printers that are out there today. There is a couple that do have the 420. They haven't had a lot of success with that, with printing as an open system on a 420. They're still great printers on 420, but they just require their own specifically designed materials. Our number one product as far as intraoral use is by far the soft split material. I don't know if any of you are using this material now, but it's truly a unique material compared to other night guard materials or bite splint materials. People are using these for all types of situations now, or RXs that are coming in from the doctors, from whether it be night guards to sleep appliances and a whole host of different things that they're using it for. So what makes this material unique is its patent technology, and what is in there, it combines the strength to protect the teeth with the added flexibility for better patient comfort. What that really means is that as the product comes off of the printer and is post-cured, it actually is somewhat similar to what you might see in a hard splint. But once you put it into a patient's mouth or into a glass of warm water, it actually softens in the patient's mouth, which adds a distinct feature to this product compared to a hard splint. It's much more comfortable for the patients to wear. So you're seeing a lot better patient compliance when it comes to wearing one of these. It is precise when it comes to printing, so it fits very well in the patient's mouth. Its strong and smooth surfaces provide for a clearer product, and it's not brittle. So if you've made a traditional hard splint, you know how brittle they can be, and also if you try to print the traditional materials that are out there, they also tend to be a little bit brittle. So if you drop them on the ground or if you try to bend them at all, they will snap. So they are quite brittle. This one, you will not find that. In fact, I have not had one customer ever call me and say that they have broken it by bending it, for instance. So certainly they would break if you bent it too far, but typically you will not see any problems as far as breaking of this product. It's a very the abrasion or resistant formula, which we're going to go into a little bit more detail here, is quite unique compared to other materials that are on the market and traditional processes. And I'll show you some of the tests that were done on this product to show how it fits into a patient's mouth very well as far as the abrasion issues are concerned. It's very easily polished. It's really no different than what you would do on a typical night guard. It's easy to clean for the patient. They're going to follow their normal protocol of cleaning of the product as they would a hard splint. Again, the shelf life on this product is 3 years. So it will last a long time. If in fact you're not using it every day, it can sit on the shelf for a little bit longer. Although I would recommend when you're using it just to shake it up if it's sitting there for a couple of weeks at a time. It does maintain long-term color stability. So as long as it's not being soaked in red wine or coffee, you shouldn't have a problem with this. It will stay the same color as you printed it for years to come. It does not require a nitrogen-free post-curing unit, and this is for the tinted material. If you're going to use the clear material on a carbon, they do recommend you use the nitrogen post-curing unit. These biocompatible resins have been fully tested and compliant with international standards. So this product, we sell thousands and thousands of kilos of this a month, and it's going worldwide and has met all the standards in each one of those countries. And lastly, it is one of the few products that is actually FDA approved. So it's important as you're looking for a night guard solution to provide your patients that you do ask the manufacturer of the resin, has it been FDA approved? Some of them represent that they have, but ask them for the paperwork on that. I know there's some out there that have done the legwork, like we have done the legwork, but I strongly encourage you to look for that when you're looking for a solution for night guards. And lastly, Zahn is the exclusive dealer for the carbon material that goes on. It is a clear material, so there's two types of this material, both the clear resin for carbon and also the tinted version. As far as the biocompatibility and the features and benefits of each of the products, they're very similar, only that one is very clear. So just briefly going through the expectations for the soft splint. Keystone demonstrates good levels of abrasion resistance. There's a study that was done basically going through bite forces on this product and how it's going to wear towards the adjacent teeth. We actually put this through 400 cycles. Now, normally these tests are done at 200 cycles. We reached 200 cycles and actually surpassed any of our competitor products that are out there, whether they be printed or whether they be done by traditional methods. So we've actually doubled that. Prior studies, again, only went to 200 cycles. So these are some of the results that we saw on this. You can see here that we ran this to 400,000 cycles, and you can see the volume loss here is significantly less than our competitor products that are out there. So one of the early concerns with this is how people look at this as soft, and sometimes we wish we had not called it soft. But the product will withstand patients' bite forces very, very well. In fact, better than any of the other competitors that are on the market in more than double the testing that was done on those other materials. So feel confident when you're providing your doctors and then onto the patient that this product is going to last a long time. So just a little bit about the soft splint, and again, this is where the rubber hits the road when it comes to this, especially in the dental laboratories. When you're looking at, using a product like this, what can you expect as far as the margins are concerned? So the product retails for $4.25 per kilo, and this is based off of 10 splints a day in a dental laboratory, or being produced in a dental laboratory. The total for that to design, clean, and finish that product is going to be 245 minutes. And we're expecting a lab rate of around $25 an hour. The grams per use on this is about 8 grams with a waste factor of about 12%. A typical selling price from this in a dental laboratory is anywhere from $100 to $125. So the total cost to produce one of these parts with parts, labor, and material, you're looking at about $24. The actual cost of the material is $3.86. So the profit on each one of these is about $100. So if you compare it to some of the other things that you're doing in your laboratory, you'll find that there's plenty of margin to be made here. If you multiply that out throughout the whole year, you're looking at almost $250,000 of profit on just doing soft splints. I can tell you folks that this is a very, very fast growing market because of the profitability, not only for you guys, but also for the doctors. The doctors, the reimbursement on this is very good. They're getting anywhere to $4 to $5 plus $100 for each one of these appliances from the dental care providers. And believe it or not, they're selling more and more of these, partly because of the pandemic. A lot of the dentists have found that patients are grinding their teeth and breaking teeth, quite frankly, a lot more during the pandemic. So they're actually being able to prescribe these more frequently. Patient acceptance is also very high on this because of the comfort. People that, myself included, that wore a traditional hard guard, a lot of times I would actually spit that out in the middle of the night because I'd wake up and it was uncomfortable. This one here is a lot more comfortable. It's a lot more flexible. It stays in my mouth throughout the night. So patient compliance is dramatically increased on this. And again, it's something that I've spoken to many doctors about, and they're seeing this across the board. The patients are finding these much more comfortable to wear. They are very easy to design, and if there's one suggestion I might give to you folks, there is some doctors out there that will print these in-house, but I would strongly encourage you to offer a design service for these. It's a great revenue supplier for you guys as well. So the next product I'm just going to talk about is another intraoral use. It's our key guide material. One of the things about this product that really makes it unique is the strength of the material. So as you're trying to drill through it or put the sleeves in it, and so on and so forth, it is a very, very reliable product compared to some of the other ones out there. In fact, from as of today, is the strongest product available in the market for printable use. So these are another product that you can make in your laboratory. A lot of times these products are made through the complete digital workflow. So the time savings on this is significant compared to traditional methods where you're doing some sort of suck down or some sort of acrylic guard on this. So the time savings on this, again, you're taking an intraoral scan from the doctor's office, you're putting it into a design software. Some doctors will send you the design depending on which implant manufacturer they're using, and then they would have you guys print it, or vice versa. They might send it over to you to do the design and then send back for them to print. So again, opening up the door to design services in your laboratories, a good opportunity. The precision on these, and I've been around now the surgical guide business since 2002. I will tell you that I would put any of these fully digitally designed and manufactured products at a much higher level than any of the traditional type surgical guides. So you're using digital input and digital output, which provides for a very accurate and reliable and repeatable process to create a surgical guide. So again, it's using a complete digital workflow. The other thing when it comes to making surgical guides for your patients is that it actually more or less guarantees you the restorative work, which is really where a lot of the margin comes into when you're dealing with implant doctors, is getting those restorations. So providing them the print for them to make the guide themselves, it provides a service that opens the door for you guys to get the restorations out of this too. So if we're looking at the profit opportunity on this, each one of these bottles, again, is about $250 a kilo. Typically, you're looking at about 20 grams per guide, so roughly $5 of material. Actual selling price, and this will vary depending on the number of implant sites on this, but typically it's around $195 plus for a surgical guide. So on a bottle material of this, you're looking at, in the neighborhood of $9,700 per bottle. And again, this is where the importance of that long shelf life comes into play, because you will not be making these all day, every day. So the longer life you have on that bottle, the better. But again, it's a good investment to look into as far as offering this to your clinicians. As far as the advantages to the clinicians, and it's what's interesting that's come out of the pandemic is the clinicians now, especially in orthodontics, where with indirect bonding or indirect bonding trays, which is a clear tray to hold the brackets, we've seen an increase in sales on that because they're trying to save time in our chair time with patients. So time to place implants is reduced. It's always been the case for surgical guides. You can place them faster and more accurately with a surgical guide, but doctors now are realizing this is a good way to save time in the office where they have to do a lot more cleaning in between patients now. This offers them the opportunity to get those implants in quicker. They're going to end up in the right spot with less complications, so they're using them more and more. So they have, because of the COVID-19, they have become more valuable. Again, the restorations are more predictable. And right now, by you guys offering this, there is a significant time savings in you guys providing surgical guides to your doctors over the OEM implant manufacturers. A lot of times they'll take 2 to 3 weeks to get these guides back, where you guys got to easily have them back in 2 to 3 days. The accuracy with these, again, the pre-treatment planning ensures proper placement of these guides. So being able to go from an intraoral scan, combining that with a CT scan in designing these cases, the software that's available out there now is so much better than it was even 5 years ago. A lot of it is becoming more and more automated. It's more and more open again, so you can use any type of implant system in these softwares, and it tends to be relatively easy to use once you're accustomed to using it. It also provides a great opportunity for prefabrication of the temporary restoration. So as these doctors are looking at this, they're saving another office visit for the patients coming in if they can provide some sort of temporary restoration. And usually with the surgical guide, they know the quality of the bone, they know exactly where that implant is going to be going, and they can actually provide for a some type of temporary restoration at the time of placement to provide a patient with something to go home with, but it also reduces the amount of office visits. So the cost savings for a doctor, at $195 compared to an OEM implant company, at $350. This is a significant savings for the doctor as well. So there's a lot of advantages for the doctors to use this. And again, we're seeing a lot of growth in this because of the pandemic. So these are just two of the products, again, intraoral use you guys might want to consider when you're looking, how am I going to use my 3D printer for more than just printing models? In addition to those two, if you're going to be making models, we do offer a masking material to provide that emergence profile for, when you're building a model to create those restorations for the guided surgery cases. The next thing I want to just share is a few of our other products that we offer that are outside of the mouth, but our model material, which we just introduced back in December, it's had a tremendous response. We've sold much more than we anticipated. It's our KeyModel Ultra material. This model actually prints faster than other traditional type of printed materials. In some cases, it was almost 70% faster than what we've seen some of our competitors print at. It comes in 2 different colors, both the ivory and a gray material. And it has an integrated release agent for if you're using any type of acrylic on top of it or any type of suck down material on top of it. It releases a lot easier than some of the other materials that are out there. It offers a super smooth surface. So if you are going to be doing any type of vacuum forming on this product, you won't see what I call topography lines, or the little lines in the clear liners. So it does offer a better quality finish when it comes off of the print. And it is a very stable product, and you do get consistency and reliability out of this product. It's pretty across the board when it comes to model materials. Most of them are working. Again, this one is a little bit smoother surface, and it will print a little bit faster, but one of the big things why people are really embracing this product is it's only $79 a kilo. So I don't, the prices on model material across the border, somewhere in the $250 range and all the way down to what we're selling it here. So there is a lot of opportunity if you're printing a lot of models to save significant amount of money on this, and the cost per part goes down dramatically with the use of this product. We do offer two other model materials. We offer a standard model material, which is the new Model Ultra material is cannibalizing a lot of this business. We do offer a model of material that's specifically designed for ortho. There's a lot of people that have stuck with this, but over the course of time, we are anticipating that some of them will transition over to the KeyModel Ultra material. We do have a wax material that works very, very well. It burns out very, very cleanly. And again, as I showed in statistically earlier, wax printing right now is next to model printing the second largest application that is being printed. So, and I already mentioned again the masking material that we provided. So that concludes my portion of this. If anybody has any questions, I guess now would be the time to ask.
Okay, we do have a question regarding accuracy comparisons to other model materials.
In what way?
Like, has Keystone had accuracy comparisons to other model materials?
Well, we're always well, accuracy has a lot to do with the printer that you're printing it on, but I would put this product up against any other the products that are out there as far as accuracy. And accuracy is a little bit of the Wild West. It's actually measured in two different ways. Some people would say it's by layer height or thickness, when other people will refer to it as a dimensional accuracy on this. And again, I will stack the KeyModel Ultra material up to any of the other materials that are out there. The smoothness of the surface, I really have been in this for 10 years now, and I haven't seen a model that is as smooth as this one. When it comes to this model production. One of the things I will say when it comes to accuracy is most of our testing is done at 100 microns of accuracy, which 100 microns on our model and 100 microns on somebody else's model is going to be more or less the same once you do it like a calibration block. If it's accurate, it's accurate. We are lowering that down to 50 microns in some cases. Some laboratories, especially for crown and bridge cases, are asking for that testing to be done, and we just completed it on one 3D printer last week actually, and the results were very, very positive. So no issues with going down to a higher degree of accuracy. The only thing that you sacrifice when it comes to that obviously is speed. So as you want more accuracy with a model, you're going to expect to have longer print times.
Yep. And thank you. And also, we just want to let you all know, if you do have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to a Zahn representative. We are over time. I'd like to thank Doug this morning for your presentation. And you all join us for the next Quick Bite. Have a great day.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for having me.